What? There's a new Spider-Man movie? My cat just attacked my foot through the green screen.
Aha! Spider-Man! What's cracking, baby? Woo! Hey! Where you going, Spider-Man? Woo-hoo! Ha! You're getting the girl. Saving the day. Yeah! Go, Spider-Man!
Bald spot. It's not so bad. I just saw Spider-Man Far From Home, and this is the second Dippy's Decree I filmed in one day. And it's not about the Avengers. But yeah, it kinda is, actually. It's sort of the next phase. Except, whoever the hell, the Russo brothers? Vince Russo? Whoever directed this, something said this is the last part of the Endgame Infinity War trilogy. I'm fogging up my lenses already. I'll start by saying overall I liked it. It was a good movie. It was kind of started off worryingly for me, but then it ended not worryingly. And that's the Dippy seal of quality. I can't drink my pop because I decided to wear this damn mask. It's helping mask how tired I probably look from not sleeping. And I'm not breathing either. Did you know that if all you have is caffeine and no sleep, you don't function? Did you? So yeah, the movie starts with like this funny sophomoric tribute to the heroes that died in Endgame with some shitty like basic software being used and really bad was just a slideshow with like, it was almost like one of them old AMVs from the early YouTube days. And they were like memorializing Tony Stark and Black Widow, the Vision. I see these movies, I know what happened in them. Fuck you, plane. And there's like some stupid imagery like eagles being thrown in, and I think angel wings were at one point, or I think it was jets. Like the Blue Angels or something over Tony Stark with some birds thrown in. It was done by those people that hosted that like public access school show or whatever at Peters High School. So it was a pretty funny, nice start. Oh, what song? It played some fucking song, and as soon as it played it, like the movie starts with the song, and I think it was I'll Always Love You or something, and then it cuts to like a picture of Tony Stark. It is dumb. It was funny though. This video is going bad. Maybe film it when you actually get sleep. Then in that same like public access show thing, they deal with explaining what they call the blip, which was people coming back after 5 years of being poo gas from the events of Infinity War. And it's funny because there are people, there's a girl and a dude doing the show, and they're both like upset because they got brought back and they had actually done most of their senior year, but the school board decided like, nope, you gotta redo it because it's been 5 years. And a couple of classmates were like older than them now, one of which got older and became a rival for Zendaya for Spider-Man. Not Mary Jane. And they showed footage of like a high school marching band. There was like an assembly when everybody got poo-gassed, which is kind of funny they put that in their little show for the school, and then it shows them coming back 5 years later and in the middle of another, like a game, and people are like barging into each other. So yeah, that was pretty cool how they dealt with the whole snap and return of people. Too bad fucking Tony's death was spoiled long before Endgame was even out, thanks to Far From Home trailers. Gee, I wonder why Spider-Man is so sad when he looks at Iron Man. I think Marvel also spoiled the big plot twist about Mysterio, too. But, I mean, if you're a Spider-Man fan, you should fucking know I'm gatekeeping Spider-Man movies. Speaking of, I can barely speak. Damn. Well, first off, the humor was well balanced, but at the same time it kind of felt almost like Ragnarok levels of too much. But in this case, it wasn't really so much that it was too much, as more that it was kind of forced. A lot of the jokes just didn't feel organic. Felt like they were trying a little too hard to be funny, and kind of fell flat a lot. But yeah, Mysterio was represented very well. They handled the whole twist of him being the bad guy really well. He came across as like a new, wholesome hero to replace Iron Man, and had everybody thinking he was a good guy. And then it was really all just so he could get some glasses that were handed down to Spider-Man. And they were magic sunglasses that controlled a fucking satellite full of drones and shit, and they could hack things. It was awesome. And Mysterio was using illusions and his own drones to trick Spider-Man into thinking he should give the glasses to him. Because Spider-Man had himself believing like, hey, Tony didn't give these to me to make me the next Iron Man. He gave these to me just so I could choose the next Iron Man. And Mysterio's like, yeah, sure. Just fucking give me him. And as soon as he does and leaves, fucking that's when the big reveal happens. And like everybody's partying. Like it's a bunch of people that got fired by Tony that are working with Mysterio, and they're all happy. And they're like, yeah, we're gonna... I guess this part was a little weak, because they're like, we hate heroes, we're gonna make me a hero. I'll be the best hero. How the fuck does Spider-Man fight in these masks, dude? I can't even breathe after talking for like 10 seconds. Doesn't help that I forget to breathe. A lot. Forget not to voice crack. Oh, the fights with him were like awesome. Because, I mean, the movie kind of was rocky for me at first. Then, like, the big confrontation with Mysterio, there were two of them. The first one was amazing. It was like beyond Doctor Strange levels of imagery. There was all kinds of cool shit he was pulling to fuck with Spider-Man, and that, like, saved the movie. It piqued my interest and got my hopes back up, and the rest of the movie was pretty good after that. Before that, I was like, okay, they're going on a trip, humor's kind of bland, the fuck are we doing? Mysterio's telling everybody he's from another universe. There's elemental thingies that have to be killed. But then, the big reveal that he's a jerk, and that first illusion fight, it was great. He tricked Spider-Man into walking into a fucking train. Mwah. He even, like, Mysterio did this cool thing where he, like, had a zombie Iron Man come out of the ground to fuck with Spider-Man and make him, like, feel responsible for his death. They didn't really explore that much after. But it was cool seeing it that one time. Spider-Man, once again, was like fucking mini baby Iron Man because he had all of his tech and shit, and his suits were made by Tony. So he still kind of had that feel of being Iron Man Jr. But it got used against him, and it was kind of cool when, you know, he handed over the glasses and a fucking armada of drones became Mysterio's. It helped enhance his illusion powers, so that was kind of cool. It was almost like, kind of like what happened last time. Not really. Not at all. Last time he had to wear sweats. Which Mysterio makes him, like, wear an illusion in the first illusion fight. He's like, you're just a boy in sweats. It was cool. Fucking amazing. I could watch that fight over and over. Definitely one of my favorites out of any superhero movie. I mean, fucking, these movies are getting better and better at doing superhero shit. So, I mean, Marvel Studios movies are kind of becoming movie love, but, well, they're standing out more from themselves and getting better at doing superhero things, like grander, cooler stuff more often. Breathe. There was a love story. It was done okay. They used 2 new suits, too, which was, like, obviously for fucking merchandising. I mean, you get Spidey with the red and black suit, and then Spidey with the all-black suit. I mean, then not to mention, you see, like, his classic one, the first one Tony made him, and then the fucking Iron Spider one. Those are in there, too. But, so, I mean, what was my point? You know, I had all those suits, which was like, hey, now we're gonna make toys of money, but they had good reasons for it. I mean, when they were doing the Europe trip, he was like, hey, Nick Fury, I can't come help you and help Mysterio fight these elemental beasts because if Spider-Man shows up in Europe, everyone will know I'm Spider-Man. I'm sitting back down. I don't know. I thought I knocked my can over. Fucking Spider Sense didn't work. Peter Tingle! That's what they kept calling it. It was funny. So yeah, I think I left off. Peter was like, hey, I can't be seen as Spider-Man here because Peter's here too and everybody's gonna connect that shit. And Nick Fury's like, I understand. I won't make you help. And then next thing he knows, like, he keeps routing their fucking trip across Europe to places where Spider-Man needs to be to help Mysterio. And then he, like, gets with this blonde chick to make him a suit that's all black, which people end up calling him Night Monkey thanks to Ned. 'Cause he's with Betty Brant, I think, on a Ferris wheel during one of the elemental fights. And she's like, hey, isn't that Spider-Man? Like, he's just in a black suit. And Ned is like, no, that's, Night Monkey. And then she starts screaming for Night Monkey to help, and it was funny. People were, all across Europe were referring to him as Night Monkey. It was dumb. And then, like, eventually the final fight happens. I gotta keep this shit kinda short. These aren't meant to be that in-depth. What the hell did I just knock over? That's how you shorten a video. But the final fight was pretty epic. I mean, Mysterio... It just kind of made me think of something I didn't like. So in the final fight, Mysterio brings a super elemental that's like all of them combined. And he comes up with like this bullshit story. It's like they're all combined and they're gonna feed off the core of the earth. Which was kind of what he'd already used for the Molten elemental. And Nick Fury's... It even cuts to him after hearing this, and by this point he already knows that Mysterio's a fake bitch. And he hears this fusion thing, and he's like, man, that's some bullshit. And it was funny. And it was like Peter and Mary Jane had figured out that he was using fucking holograms a little while before because they were meeting, and she's like, I know, you're Spider-Man. And he's like, oh, okay. And she had found a thing that fell off one of the drones, and it accidentally activated with, like, elemental holograms. So that's how that all was revealed. So yeah, that brings up a critique, because it's like, Mysterio's stories, like, fell to shit. Now that we know who he is, like, what? It just seemed like he put a lot of effort in before, but then for his big bad Avengers class threat he was trying to make, he just fucking hams it in, phones it in, ballses it up, to the point where people are like, wow, that's kind of shit. So yeah, the final fight though was pretty grand, because there was like thousands almost, of drones that came from Tony Stark's glasses tech satellite thing. Spidey's like beating them all up and doing all kinds of cool shit with his webbing. He runs out at one point, has to use like sonic stuff they have, and then as they're dying, like the imagery starts falling apart. So Mysterio's like, nope, just let them drop. We'll just have the drones. I'll find a way to spin it. And you find out afterwards, Spidey wins, and well, at the very end of the movie, spoilers, some more spoilers. I think that was the name of a Spider-Man villain. Voice crack. I'll get to it. But yeah, that fight, because of all the drones and shit, it was grand, but at the same time, it's like, how many fucking drones? It's just drones! He's just blowing up drones! It's kind of like they ran out of... They couldn't think of much else to do, so like, just make them fight drones. But it was pretty good overall. It's Drone Loaf. Drone Movie Loaf. Drof. I can't fucking see my outline anymore. Alright, so I guess I'll get to the twist with the drones. So the reason Mysterio dropped the illusions and had the drones attack as they were was because when, I think he figured Spider-Man was going to beat his ass. Or in the case that he did, he had this plan where he would just have Spider-Man blamed for the drones. Like, he used his illusion powers to kind of doctor things and record a final video before he died, and he had a drone, like, fucking shoot him on accident. It was dumb. So, in the video, he's like, it makes it look like Spider-Man activated a kill order for the drones to attack, and it made Mysterio look like he was the hero trying to stop Spider-Man. But it's like, wait a minute, But if Mysterio died, how did all the drones go away? Is the narrative Mysterio's going with? Is he spinning? Is he like making a narrative that Spider-Man just sent a bunch of drones to kill Mysterio and leave? I don't know, but that's what he made it look like. Spider-Man had a cloud of Stark Tech drones blow London up and kill Mysterio. And he's like, this was at the end of the movie. Spider-Man hears the news after like dropping Zendaya off, and he looks and it says like breaking news, you know, here there's the video. And then J. Jonah Jameson like cuts in with the original actor playing him, which was awesome. He had a fringe instead of like the Jameson hair, but it was still colored to look like it. It was cool, and he was like, "Oh, Mysterio's the greatest hero. Spider-Man killed him." Then I think after that point, there's more of the video. The newscaster or whatever is like, and we have this clip saying who he is. And at first it shows Jake Gyllenhaal saying it's Pit. And it cuts out, then it comes back and it says, his name is Peter Parker! In fucking front of the whole city. And Spider-Man's just sitting there and he goes, what? And that's it. That's the end. The end of the movie. Everybody knows Peter Parker's Spider-Man, and they think he sent a drone to kill the world's greatest superhero that was gonna replace Iron Man. So now he's like public enemy #1. Just like in the classic comics, but with like elements of Civil War where everyone knew who he was. I kind of like how the movies mix things up like that. Ah! Oh, and then there was like one more twist. Nick Fury was not actually even in the movie. He was on vacation. It was, I think, the Skrulls. The Skrulls from Captain Marvel were disguising themselves as him and that lady from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. / other movies. She's a little bit generic. I don't know her. Sorry. And that kind of explains why Nick Fury was tricked so easily, because he's actually like an idiot Skrull. The main idiot Skrull from Captain Marvel. So Nick Fury himself was like in a Skrull spaceship on like a fake vacation beach thing. And he's like, well, get back to work. Where are my shoes? It was almost like they actually filmed Samuel L. Jackson just getting back from vacation too. Yep. So overall, it was a good movie. I liked it. I'd recommend it. I would give it 2 Spider Dip thumbs up out of 3. I'd give it like a 75%. Maybe give myself some fucking air. I don't know how to end it. What does this even look like? Shit. I look like demented clone gone wrong. Hey, I should fucking play CW Spider-Man. Since CW Superman looks like a weird version of Superman, let me be this CW Spidey. No, let me be the chunky Spidey from the future in the live-action Spider-Verse. Oh, by the way, this is a final thought. They didn't really mention. I thought maybe they would hint at other Spider-Man movie peoples from like previous continuities, but they didn't. Not even a little. So Dippy can be the fat future Spidey. Ah! Where did he go?